Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Fritch. I am a nurse.
How many years have you been working?
8.5 years, 9 years almost.
So have you ever heard about a attending doctor beating up the other like junior doctors or the fellow doctors?
In Canada?
Yeah, in Canada. Have you ever heard of it?
Not personally, no. I know there has been instances of maybe some mistreatment,
Right.
but never physical, never abusive scenario. I personally don't hear that in Canada.
Right.
But that seems wildly unprofessional for sure. And
So what do you think would happen to those attendings in Canada if it happens?
the instances that I had that I do know that have been inappropriate between like nurses and doctors, it's always been reported to the manager, reported to a union of ours, and then it's dealt with internally.
Right.
Whatever happens after or whatever repercussions after, I don't know, but it's definitely reported and dealt with.
Do you think that there would be a chance that they might lose the license?
I think it depends. It depends on the gravity of the abuse, and it's how long it's been going on, and if there's other people that stands up and be like, "Hey, this is happening to us too." I have heard of physicians that have been escorted by the cops for abuse.
By the cops?
Yeah. It's not like doctors to doctors. It's like domestic. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time.
course.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Okay.
Of course. Yeah.
Can you introduce yourself just briefly?
Hi, I'm Peter. I'm a nurse here, cardiac intensive care.
How long have you been working as a nurse for?
About 15 years.
So have you ever heard about or seen about attending doctor physically abusing the fellow doctors or just the junior doctors?
Doctor physically abusing?
Physically abusing.
Wow,
yeah.
I've never heard. No.
You never heard about it?
Nothing.
So what do you think if it happens in Canada?
They'd be reprimanded really quickly. I don't think our regulations here would allow something like that. Certainly not physical or emotional abuse.
Thank you very much
Yeah.
for your time, Peter. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you.
Okay.
My name's Elenea,
How long you been working as a nurse for?
7 years.
So have you ever heard or seen about the attending doctor physically abusing the other fellow doctors or junior residents?
No, not really.
So there was recently an incident where the attending doctor was physically abusing his fellow doctors or junior doctors. What are your thoughts on that?
That's crazy and probably gonna breach any legal matters. You're in the workplace. It should be a safe place for everyone.
If in case it happens in Canada, what do you think would happen to those attending doctors?
I think that they should be fired from their job because that's assault. No one needs to be assaulted at work. They just go there to do their jobs and everything. I would think that they would get their licenses taken away because they should be taking care of people, not hurting other people, right?
The medical service is always, it's all about like patient-centered and the safety as well. So it would affect the safety of the patient.
I would think so
Yeah.
because then doctors won't want to, knowing that they could get hurt at work from fellow colleagues, they're probably not going to be more effective with their job because they have other stressors in their workplace, right?
Right. Well, thank you very much for sharing your opinions. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you briefly introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's Christine, and I'm working here in ACCU.
How long have you been working as a nurse for?
I've been working as a nurse for 10 years.
Have you ever heard about the attending doctor physically abusing other fellow doctors or junior residents?
Here in Canada, throughout my years of practice, I haven't heard or witnessed any of those.
If anything like that happens in Canada, what do you think would happen to those attending doctors?
I think a proper investigation of the case should be done. And then if there's anything that they find out, I think they should be put on some disciplinary actions.
Do you think there was a chance that they might lose their license?
I think there is if they find something, if it's like depending on what they find in the investigation, I think there is a risk or there's a chance that they can lose their license.
Thank you very much for your
No
time.
worries,
Thank
no
you so
worries.
much. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Joy Mintanko. I'm a nurse here in Winnipeg.
How long have you been a nurse for?
45 years.
45 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Have you ever heard or seen a attending doctor physically abusing junior residents or fellow doctors?
No, I have never seen physical abuse. I have certainly seen verbal and psychological abuse.
I see. So, in case if it happens in Canada, what would happen to those attending doctors?
Well, because I've never actually seen the physical abuse happen, but I've seen the Manitoba Medical Society or Association discipline doctors for other things. I think that they hold a hearing, and the doctors, both doctors, would be able to give their side of the story. If it was substantiated, then the doctor that was doing the abuse would certainly be put on leave of absence and probably have to go for some remedial education that this was not appropriate.
Do you think that there would be a chance that they may lose their license?
I think they would be given a chance. If it continued, then they would lose their license. That's not the way to learn.
Getting beaten up, by a senior doctor is not part of the program, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you for sharing your
You're
opinion.
very
Thank you very
welcome.
much. Okay, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Hongru. I'm one of the fourth year cardiology fellows.
How long have you been working as a doctor?
I guess this is year number 4.
Have you ever heard about the attending doctor was physically abusing fellow doctors or junior doctors?
I hadn't before this.
Have you ever seen anything like that?
Never.
So recently in Korea, there was an incident where the attending doctor was physically abusing his fellow doctors and junior doctors. What are your thoughts on that?
That's super shocking to me. I think in medicine we've had this history of overwork and emotional abuse to our junior residents and medical students, but I had never heard of abuse. And so I was shocked.
So if anything, something like that happens in Canada, what would you think that would happen? Like, what would happen to those attending doctors?
I would hope that they were reported right away and dealt with. They would not work with residents anymore. Even the people who have had really bad reputations where they were emotionally abusive to residents have been taken, like they've still been allowed to work but haven't been allowed to teach anymore.
There's no chance that like close to no chance to lose their license, but then they'll be like moved away from all those residents and all that.
Usually, at least that's what I've seen. We've certainly had cases of attempted sexual abuse
Okay.
or completed sexual abuse, and then bad emotional abuse.
Wow.
And so those people have been either removed from hospitals or removed from teaching services.
Oh, I see. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. Can you introduce yourself?
My name is Shannon. I am a nurse here in ACCU.
How long have you been working as a nurse for?
27 years, I think 26 years.
Have you ever heard or seen about the attending doctor physically abusing his fellow doctors or junior doctors?
Physically?
Yeah. No, nothing like that?
No.
So recently in Korea, there was a attending doctor who was physically abusing his fellow doctors and junior doctors. What are your thoughts on that?
That's not acceptable. Everybody has their personal space, right?
Yeah,
No one should
yeah.
be getting in their personal space. No one should be laying a hand or touching anybody or coming within their personal space.
Right.
People might get upset. That's why they have the ability to use language to express themselves. But physicality, no, absolutely no.
In case if it happens in Canada, what do you think would happen to those attendings?
I don't know. That's a tough situation, but would
Right.
someone consider charging them? It's also a tough thing. You have to work with these people, train under these people.
Right.
But that doesn't mean you have to tolerate that behavior either.
Right.
So that would have to go somewhere, escalate to something.
Do you think that there is a chance that they may lose their license?
Would they lose their license over that? I don't know. That would go to the college.
Thank you for your time. Thank you
Oh,
for sharing
you're
your opinion.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Laura.
How long have you been working as a doctor?
Since 2018.
Have you ever heard about attending doctor physically abusing fellow doctors or resident doctors?
No.
Recently in Korea, there was a attending doctor physically beating his fellow doctors and junior resident doctors. What are your thoughts on that?
That's horrific.
What would happen to those attending doctors if it happens in Canada?
I would think they'd be immediately escorted from the facility, like by police or
By
security.
police.
I would assume then they would be reported to the College of Physicians and Surgeons,
Right.
and I would hope they'd have their license suspended, if not revoked.
Do you think there's a chance that they may lose their license though?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I would assume. Like, I wouldn't want to be working with someone who physically assaults. I'm sorry to hear that that's happened.
That's terrible. Yeah. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you.